1 week before the COVID-19 pandemic struck the world, RFG Advisory hosted its annual advisor retreat from March 10th to the 13th on Captiva Island in Florida. Our guest of honor and keynote speaker was the great Dom Raso, a veteran Navy SEAL Team 6 warrior and founder CEO of Dynamis Alliance. Bobby White, RFG Advisory's founder and CEO, has been training with Dom in his civilian warrior program for almost 4 years and still is today. Yet somehow Bobby knew instinctively that this was exactly the right time to introduce RFG advisors to Dom's training and his crush everything mindset. What we didn't know at the time when we sat down to record this exclusive interview with Bobby and Dom was how prescient this conversation would be. What's needed today more than ever in the face of challenge and uncertainty is a warrior mindset and a servant heart, exactly the values we embrace. We invite you to take part in this amazing and transformative series featuring Bobby White and Dom Raso. All right, today we are talking about mindset. We both believe that mindset is everything. Talk to us about how mindset is the difference between the practice and the life that you have and the practice and the life that you want.
Ooh, deep. Well, you said it in the question. Mindset is everything, and it's, people people throw around the word mindset. It's mindset. It's really two words. And I really believe that from that standpoint. And you've got mindset and you've got skills, and both are extremely important, especially as a financial advisor. We've got to have the skills, the education, the knowledge to be able to advise our clients and help them, obtain their financial goals. But as financial advisors, we tend to focus strictly on the skills, the education, all the designations. And listen, I'm not discounting them. It's very, very important. We focus on the analysis and everything else. And in 22 years of doing this, I've met so many advisors that focus, strictly on the skills, but don't have the proper mindset, and they're limiting their potential. You give me an advisor that has the proper mindset and has half of those skills, I'm betting on that advisor 100% of the time. And so, like I said, if you've got the appropriate skills and you've got the proper mindset, there's nothing that you can't accomplish as a financial advisor. And the only way I can go into more detail as it relates to how important mindset is to me is to talk about my daily or morning routine. And just bear with me and you'll understand how that comes together. But every morning when I get up, I spend a little bit of time stretching. I spend a little time. I do a certain amount of push-ups that mean something to me. And then I go into prayer. Every single morning, I spend about 10 or 15 minutes going into prayer. And this isn't to try to put my religious beliefs on anyone, but it's the only way I can explain how important mindset is. And I pray around 6 foundational topics. Number one, I want to be a better Christian. I want to be a better warrior for Christ. I want to be a better father. I want to be a better leader for my community, my household, whatever it may be, my industry. I want to make a positive difference in someone's life each and every day. I want to be present in the moment in everything that I do, and I want to be an asset in everything I do. And tie that back to mindset, that's making me set my mind and go through that asset or that mindset programming each and every day. That's mindset.
And now we take you to Captiva Island with Bobby and Dom.
So now you're starting to talk about really programming the way you think. And that leads us to mindset. Talk to us about what is mindset. How does it influence how you behave?
What is mindset? I feel like mindset is just a word people hear today. Like, oh yeah, I gotta have a good mindset. Yeah. To me, it's so much more than that. And because I've programmed and defined what that means to me, I've separated the two words just to approach it differently. I want people to look at me and be like, okay, Dom's talking about mindset. Separate the two words and now start thinking, if your mind is set on something, that's the base foundation of everything that you're going to do for the rest of the day, for the rest of the year, for the rest of your life. What is absolutely 100% true to you, that you know for sure, that is going to set you up for success and that's going to pull you through the toughest moments of your life. That's what mindset is. And really, when you think about mindset, you should be very, very sure about what your mind is set on. Not just like, oh, I'm going to have a positive mindset today. That's a start. But
It's better than nothing.
just having kind of this superficial like smile on my face, everything's happy, and there's unicorns jumping around, isn't really going to get you through a real challenge in your life. Digging deep and understanding what your heart and your mind is actually set on is the beginning and foundation of talking about everything else that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything starts with mindset. If you don't have it embedded in your mind to do something, especially if it's hard, and let's face it, life can be very, very hard. You're not going to do what it takes to get there. So, I mean, you say, I'm going to go to the gym every day. I'm going to get in better shape. Why are you doing it? What's the reason behind it? You just want to look good? That's okay. You want to get fit? There's nothing wrong with that. But why are you really doing it for you? And how is that going to affect how you can help other people? And I'll use the gym as the example. It's the same thing in business. You want to build a company to be a $10 billion company, a $100 billion company. That's fine. What mindset are you putting in place to get you to that point? Yes. And if you don't start off with that mindset, nothing else is going to matter, in my opinion. In my opinion.
Yeah, and the biggest foundation of those truths, for me personally, I've had to reflect a lot on what mindset means to me. Going through door after door after door, being like, I might not come home. This might be my last Hilo ride. This might be the last door that I knock on or kick down, and this might be my last appointment. And when I've had to confront that in myself, to me, I was figuring out what that even was on my first appointment. I'm like, what even is this feeling that I have of like, yeah, okay, let's go. I'm going to go get the bad guy. But towards the end, I'm like, now I have kids. Now I have a wife. Now I have this whole developing future. I had to really dig deep and say, okay, I'm kicking that door to come after you because, and that was setting the foundation.
That's right.
So I've had to confront that in so many different dynamics, and now being out and really being aware of where I can improve the most, that's where my faith has come in. That's where my faith has set the foundation of everything else that I do, knowing that is the most important thing that's made me a better warrior, a better father, a better husband, and it's really made me understand love. Come back to love. Where is it written anywhere? Where are you getting your definition from love? What does it say in the dictionary for love? Read that definition. I suppose that's what people think it is, but it's so much deeper than that. Love is an all-encompassing, all-empowering thing that people really need to embrace.
Absolutely.
If you have the will to change your mindset, but you don't know how do you get started?
Well, I think the awareness of where you need to improve is where it starts. So if you don't have the awareness on where you can improve, how are you going to get better? And I think that's the willingness to say like, okay, there's some gaps in my life. There's definitely some areas where I know I'm not performing. Now you're aware. Now let's take the awareness and identify what you have going on. And then you have to be able to motivate yourself connected to an emotional response that causes intention about fixing it. You have to. And what's going to do that for you is going to be different for everybody. And it's really working with people to get to the bottom of what it's going to be for them. And everybody's got a different purpose. You grew up differently than I did. So if we say that there's going to be a bad guy, well, I know you now. So if a bad guy kicked down the gate, I know it would motivate you. You'd be like, all right, let's go, high five, let's go crush it. But what motivates somebody to push through that scenario? Let's talk about an active shooter scenario. The media pumps these things out there. We understand them now as a culture. You're down a long hallway. You don't have anywhere to go. It's a dead end. You're in the back room. You have somebody coming down the hallway, mowing people down. What are you thinking about? Have you ever trained for that? And if not, and you need to do something about it, what are you thinking about? Well, what you're thinking about in that moment better be what you use to motivate you to change and use that will to say, this is it. It's either me or him, or I got to get home to my kids, or I got little kids in my classroom that I need to protect. What are you living for in that micro, violent, critical moment that's going to push you to get to the next step? Because I live predictably, like you said. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. I don't even really know what that means anymore because I just live that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Take the stairs, not the escalator.
Yeah.
Pick up the heavy weights first, not the light weights. Pick up the heavier suitcase. Pick the difficult decision. What's the hardest thing to do right now? Everyone's like, all right, guys, let's clean up. I'm like, all right, where's the hardest job? The trash. I'm going to go right to the trash. I'm just going to knock it out. I'm going to embrace it. I'm not even going to think about it. So it's programmed into me already. So why everybody else is like, nah, I got to get dirty and I got this thing. And I'm already doing it.
Yeah.
And that's like, if we can get people to move closer to that mindset, I believe that everybody becomes more effective.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, and you got to visualize, you know, especially if you're looking at and it doesn't matter whether it's business or whatever, what do you want the outcome to be? You have to visualize what the outcome is going to be. You know, if it's the bad guy, the active shooter, whatever, okay, I want the outcome is I'm going to disarm this guy and I'm going to crush his ass. I'm going to protect all the people around me. Now, what do I need to do? It's that OODA loop, if you will.
Yes.
Okay, and it's the same thing in business. You know, we have a platform for independent financial advisors. If an advisor wants to take their practice to the next level, okay, we're there for you. What do you want the outcome to be? That's my first question. Okay, this is what you want. All right, this is what we need to do to get there. And you got to go through that process, in my opinion, to have the proper mindset to get done what needs to get done, based on what you're trying to accomplish.
All right, so what's the OODA loop stand for?
Observe, orient, decide, and act, brother.
My man. See, you said that like everyone was going to know what you were talking about. Like, yeah, totally.
Well, it's just you and I talking, dude.
I know. But it was awesome because, you know, not everybody's going to know. It took me a long time to know what that is, but it's an important dynamic of it.
It's in everything in life.
Whether you're a fighter pilot, whether
CEO,
you're fighting, whether you're making a business decision, whether you're ordering a coffee, you walk in and you go through that process. So it's something that people should be intimate with because not only are we going through it, but the bad guy's going through it. Or somebody that you're doing a business deal with or you're negotiating with. They're going through the same thing that you are, so we want to be ahead of the power curve. So
absolutely.
I wanted to test you.
That's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us. For more content like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media.